So the Nets take 5 years off my life and have one of the worst losses that I've seen in a long time. I think this might be the worst Nets loss since I feel like maybe 2 years ago they lost to the Thunder in a very, very bad fashion. I think Paul George hit like a game winner, but oh my God, this was bad. They were up 5 points with about 10 seconds left. Bradley Beal comes down, hits the 30-foot jumper on top of the key. You're like, okay, it's fine. Made a great shot. You're up two. You got two great free throw shooters with Kyrie and KD on the floor. Just inbound the ball cleanly, and you're good. Problem was, they didn't inbound the ball cleanly. Joe Harris and Kevin Durant just had the most unfortunate miscommunication. I'm not going to blame either guy. I would say if you're KD in that spot, I think he had room. I don't know why he moved, but the miscommunication happened. Russell Westbrook gets the ball on the left wing, swishes a three after bricking the entire game, and the Nets lose. So, actually not even that. The Nets call timeout, get the ball back. Perfect play is drawn up where it's basically three guys on the right side of the floor, Kevin Durant's on the left side of the floor by himself. They post him up. Kyrie Irving's inbounding. Perfect over-the-head bounce pass to Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot. Gets it. No one's really near him. And he misses the left-handed layup to win the game. So, as I tweeted before, I'm not going to send the guy a death threat or something because I've played basketball for a long time. I've missed many right-handed layups because I'm a lefty. I've missed a lot of right-hand layups in my life, but at the same time, TLC's an NBA player, and I'm the 5'9" Caucasian kid. So, you have to make those. There's no excuses, but I'm not going to single-handedly blame TLC for what happened because the Nets giving up 149 points in regulation, by the way, it's just utterly ridiculous. You cannot do that. You can't go and give up that many points to the 3-12 Washington Wizards and expect to be a championship level team. Now, I haven't made a Nets video in a while. I'm trying to cut down on that stuff, but I had to make this video. But they had this game won, and they were playing well the previous nights. Like they were beating up on the Heat, who didn't have a lot of their players. They beat the last time. They beat someone else who was decent last time out, but still, the Nets were looking like they were in a good spot, and then tonight they start off up 19-5, I think, at one point, and I'm like, all right, this is going to be an easy victory. The Wizards are terrible, and they just keep chipping away. Steve Nash has his weird rotations. DeAndre Jordan barely plays the second half. I will say, guys like Bruce Brown, Joe Harris, even Landry Shamet when he played, in the first half at least, were actually pretty damn good. Joe Harris had 8 3-pointers. Bruce Brown was keeping extra possessions alive and getting in Westbrook's head at one point, but it's just, you cannot lose like that. And I know people want to blame certain players and even Steve Nash, and yeah, Steve Nash has to be better, but to be honest, Steve Nash drew up the perfect play at the end of the game to win this thing. So I'll look at the minutes real quick. I mean, TLC got 17. Reggie Perry had like 3 fouls in 3 minutes. He had 7. Tyler Johnson played for a little bit. But Shamet got 20, Jeff Green got 30, Joe Harris 32. So the Nets, as we know, from the Steve Nash era so far, they lean on their starters a lot. KD had 38, Kyrie had 38, DeAndre had 19. So that's like the thing. DeAndre Jordan, on a team where their backup center is essentially Jeff Green, who's like 6'8", and Norvell Pell, who didn't play a minute tonight in his Nets debut technically. I feel like DeAndre Jordan has to play more. And DeAndre Jordan, to his credit, wasn't bad tonight. DeAndre Jordan actually was playing pretty well. He had that one funny bone incident where it looked like he was hurt, but he was fine. He was, converting on alley-oops. He was getting some rebounds and making, life tougher for some of the big men. I mean, Mo Wagner had some open dunks, but some of those weren't his fault. It was weak side type stuff. So, DeAndre Jordan probably deserved more minutes in the fourth quarter, but Steve Nash insisted on going with the small lineup. I just dropped my phone. He insisted on going with the small lineup and trying to win that way. And I get it. The Wizards don't have Thomas Bryant. He's out for the year with a torn ACL, so they don't have like this legit big man. They signed Alex Len, who I wanted the Nets to get actually, but they have Alex Len and some other guys that I've never really heard of. So it's like, they don't have the best big men on this team, and this was a game where DeAndre Jordan could have taken advantage of it. So, I just, I'm trying to look at right now is Robin Lopez. Robin Lopez. Westbrook was great when looking at the stats. I don't think he was that efficient, and Bradley Beal looked like he was very disinterested for 3 quarters and came alive in the fourth quarter. Davis Bertans couldn't hit anything. He was terrible. And then, Ish Smith always kills the Nets somehow, but this team's not good, the Wizards. Like, you have to find a way. And that's a team that should not score anywhere near 149 points, but only the Nets make that happen somehow. I don't know how they do it. The Nets have to look themselves in the mirror and find a way to play better defense. I don't know how they do it. I have no idea if they should go more zone, because it seems like a lot of times when they screw up on defense, a lot of it is like guys, you'll see like Kyrie or KD point and like, hey, you got him, and then like some miscommunication happens and the guy's left wide open. Of course, a lot of second chance points when you're talking about the Nets because they cannot rebound for some reason. Well, I think we know why, but yeah, it's been rough. And not having James Harden tonight, yeah, it hurts, but despite not having James Harden, this Nets team is still a lot better talent-wise. I mean, I would still take KD and Kyrie over Beal and Westbrook. Maybe that's a debate for another time, but I feel like the Nets have a better overall roster without James Harden still, but it's just terrible that they lost that game, and they were on this roll. Now they play the Clippers coming off of this, and, maybe they come out and play very well. I think the game's on Tuesday on TNT against the Clippers, but still, I mean, I would have loved to gone into that game winning like 4 or 5 straight. I think it was 4, yeah. So still, I mean, I'm not going to just lose all hope and say this team's hopeless. I kept saying bigger picture. We're worried about this in April, May, once the playoffs come around. But the good news is that everyone's healthy so far, knock on wood. I know James Harden had the thigh contusion. He'll be fine, but that's the main thing. Keep guys healthy. I had a nightmare last night. I actually woke up this morning with a nightmare that Kevin Durant was down with an injury, and I thought I could see the future. I mean, thank God I was wrong. I don't know why that dream happened, but it's not what I wanted to wake up to. But yeah, guys are healthy right now. Kyrie's been sane. He's been fine. And Kyrie's actually played very well. Hit a big shot down the stretch on the, where was it? On the elbow. So, he's been playing very well since coming back, but this team just doesn't play defense. It has to work itself out somehow. You have Mike D'Antoni, an offensive guy. You have Steve Nash, who, did emphasize defense in like his press conferences, but we have not seen it yet. So it just comes down to effort. I mean, of course, it helps to have a very long wingspan and be very athletic and nimble on your feet. But a lot of defense just comes down to like basketball IQ, heart, and hustle. A lot of guys just aren't putting their heart into it. Like, I don't know how else to say it. Like, you don't have to be the biggest guy. Like, look at Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown's not the most athletic, not the biggest guy, but his heart is into it. He has IQ on the floor, and Bruce Brown's one of the best defenders on the team. So, if you don't have the tools, there's really no excuse. It's an effort thing. You have to play better on defense. So that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't know what else I can rant about at this point, but it was a rough loss. And as I said, they play the Clippers coming up. I want to see the Nets schedule real quick because I want to see, I know they're playing the Clippers. That's going to be a tough one, but I want to see what else is coming up in recent games. So they play, I don't know why it sent me to March. Let's see. We have the Clippers. The Raptors are not good this year. The Sixers should be a good game. Pistons, Pacers, Warriors. All right, so it's not like the toughest schedule coming up. There's a little West Coast trip coming up in the beginning of February or mid-February. So, yeah, we'll find out what happens. But the defense got to get better. I mean, I'll talk to you guys whenever the Nets either have another implosion like this or they start playing much better. But yeah, leave in the comments how you think the Nets could fix this. They need to get themselves a JaVale McGee. Hopefully Andre Drummond gets bought out. That's my dream, and we sign him for like 1 year, $4 million, and get him on the minimum or something. But it's probably not going to happen. It's very unrealistic thinking. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know how you feel about the game. It was terrible, but I'll talk to you guys next time.